Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, August 17th. On the impact map, lots going on. We'll start with the most critical, and that's the near record heat and also dryness across northern areas. We see the pockets of red, and that's where we're going to see some winds coming in tomorrow, and even some winds Saturday in a dry pocket of what will become an increasingly smaller dry pocket as deeper monsoonal moisture starts to overspread the area from south to north. In the past 24 hours, quite a bit of lightning, a couple of thousand strikes. We can see a lot of it's coming in with some decent precipitation. New fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow, and actually had a couple of hundred acres growth down here on the Arizona Strip. So still some pockets of drier fuels there. We'll look at those in a second. You wouldn't know it looking at the 7 days of precipitation. Some heavy amounts here in northern Arizona, southern Utah, lighter amounts further north and west, but that'll be changing. The ERC percentiles, you can see that where the more moist conditions are and where we're still hanging in with some very low ERCs in the 80th to 90th percentiles in parts of the north and the northwest. Looking at individual fuel charts, and up here in the Payette, even though they dropped down quite a bit with cool, wet weather a couple of weeks ago, it's been warm and dry, and it's bounced back up to normal mid-August levels. Similar pattern going on in western Wyoming. And down in the Arizona Strip, yeah, they drop down with the rain, but every time it dries out for a few days, they scoot right back up, and they're kind of in an uptrend now, just below normal levels, although normal for mid-August is typically fairly quiet for them. Satellite imagery shows low pressure off the central California coast, pushing up tons of moisture. This is monsoonal moisture, more monsoonal moisture waiting through here, but we still have this strong high pressure ridge stuck up here with more heat and dryness in the north. So we go to later today, and here is the moisture map on the left. You can see what these areas in green are. That's what the scattered showers and wet thunderstorms will be. Some drier air, though, starting to push in ahead of the low. 7-day on the right, a lot of areas in the east and south have bonified recently. You can see the humidities there in the 30% range in the 20s, but still some dry pockets here in parts of Arizona and especially up in Idaho. And typical normal upslope, downslope winds today. But with this low hanging off of here, we're always going to have some sort of gusty wind element we'll have to watch in our western areas. But we'll see that deep monsoonal moisture push northwards in eastern areas. See the 7-day kind of reflecting that. Looking at the humidity is very high in the east, but you can see how low they are in parts of southern and central Nevada in the single digits to mid-teens. Starting to come up a little bit up in Idaho, and some breezes out here. So not that we'll see much in the way of holdover activity, but that's something we'll just have to watch. Then interesting, on Saturday, the monsoonal train really gets going, helped with moisture from what's going to be Hurricane Greg, I believe. But with this low here, there's a pocket of dry air, and there'll be some winds coming in. And you can see those winds here, 30 to 35 miles an hour in some spots. And the humidity, not bone dry, but not moist either, teens to near 20%. Have to watch some of those areas, also some strong winds up in the north as well. Looking at the precipitation for the next 3 days through here, you see that heavy rain coming into southern areas by the end of the period, but still that dryness in parts of central and northern Nevada with those winds on Saturday. We'll have to watch that a little bit. Then the moisture really deepens on Sunday with Hurricane Greg. Just lots of deep moisture, especially across Nevada and into parts of western Utah. Drier air pushing into eastern Utah. It'd be interesting. And that pattern continues with deepest monsoonal moisture and heavy rains in the eastern Great Basin. Then the east starts clearing out. The west starts clearing out towards the end of the period. The monsoonal moisture shifts a bit further eastwards into Utah. And then by Wednesday, another deep area of monsoonal moisture coming on up, this one affecting more of the eastern areas, drying up in the north. So a lot of different things going on in a lot of different areas. But here's the 7-day precipitation totals. You can see moderate to heavy amounts in a lot of areas, maybe not so much in eastern Idaho, some pockets of western Wyoming also, but by and large, 90% of the area gets tons of wetting rains, and that wet pattern here continues on the 8 to 14 day going into the last week of August. So that's something to keep an eye on. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.